And welcome back to our continuing series, Your Money, Your Future with Steinbrenner Financial Groups. Many people have IRA accounts to save money for retirement as well as taking advantage of the tax benefits. But now the rules are changing for managing those accounts. Kim Steinbrenner joins us today. She is a chartered retirement planning counselor who specializes in replacing your work paycheck with your retirement paycheck. Hey, Kim.
Hey, Molly, good morning. Looks
Good
like we
morning
had
to
the
you.
same commute.
Exactly, that 30-second commute. How's everything going for
Right?
you at home?
Exactly. Huh?
How's
I
everything
didn't
going
hear.
for you at the office and home?
Well, we've got the office up. We're just spacing out, taking turns who goes in the office and who doesn't. But we want to make sure there's somebody there all the time to answer questions because there are a lot of questions now, especially with the coronavirus and all the uncertainty that people have with their retirement plans, whether they're before retirement, starting retirement, or into retirement. The Chartered Retirement Planning.
Yeah, and hopefully right now people have the time
Your
to sort
retirement
of
paycheck.
reevaluate their plans. Talk, if you
That's
would,
what I
Kim,
do is
about
how do you recreate that paycheck instead of just liquidating assets every month to make ends meet? You should have an actual plan to recreate that paycheck. And because of all this uncertainty with the coronavirus, there's been a lot of new laws that revolve around your retirement plans and your IRAs. And they're affecting people directly, but a lot of people aren't aware of the new laws.
well, and
So
I think it can be
specifically,
really complicated too to understand those new laws.
especially because they keep happening. I mean, there's been three in the last couple of months that are pretty important. One of them specifically is revolving around your 70 and a half retirement required minimum distribution law that everybody's known since day one. When you're 70 and a half, you have to start pulling from your IRAs. Well, now they've moved that to age 72, but you have to know exactly what age you are if you are allowed to wait until you're 72 to start pulling that money, because nobody wants to pull money out of an IRA right now. And you should know if you're one of those people that are eligible to wait until you're 72.
What if you're still working past 70 and a half years old?
If you're still working, you can still contribute to an IRA. And this is not a bad time, if you can, to put some money into the market. There's a lot of good places that you can put money right now. Good, safe. I don't want to use the word safe. I'm not supposed to, sorry. But there are a lot of smart places that you could be investing right now.
Can you explain what I've heard, and that is this 2020 RMD holiday?
If you are in the age that you have to take required minimum distributions, bleh, if you're supposed to be taking required minimum distributions during the year 2020, you do not have to take them. You get the entire year you don't have to take any withdrawals because nobody wants to pull money out right now. Now, if you've taken withdrawals already, then you work with somebody because you have a window in which to reimburse yourself, but you've got to do it the right way.
Because there are specific rules, right, that apply to that critical time in terms of when you can do that. And I think that accentuates the fact that it's that important to talk to a professional about this stuff.
It is, because you only have one opportunity to do it the right way. So if you want to make sure that you take advantage of that 2020 RMD holiday, if you don't need that income and you don't want to pull when the market is low, then you need to work with a professional and figure out how to either reimburse yourself for what you've already pulled or how to stop any upcoming what might have been systematically set up.
Now, this only applies to the original owner of the IRA, correct?
It does. That's true. It's a good point, because there are people out there that have inherited IRAs from maybe their parents or an aunt or uncle or what have you. If you're taking required minimum distributions based on somebody else's original IRA, you still have to pull those required minimum distributions. It's only allowed if it's your IRA or you inherited it from your spouse. Those are the only two exceptions.
What about this 10% penalty that's waived for people who are under the age of 59 and a half as it relates to COVID-19?
That's a really good question. There are a lot of us who are under 59 and a half. maybe just barely, but I am. If I had to pull from my IRA right now, I would face a 10% penalty and I would have to pay taxes on any dollars that I pulled out. If it is a coronavirus, COVID-19 related event, which there's going to be some more specific definitions I'm sure are going to come out, the 10% penalty that I would have to pay would be waived. Now, I would still owe the taxes on it, but I have 3 years in which to pay those taxes back, which is going to be very helpful for people who are perhaps not working right now or have additional medical expenses. So it's important to know that you have some options. But again, working with a professional to know where your parameters are and that you don't work outside of those parameters is really important. I'm getting a lot of phone calls from people who have retired or are near retirement, and their plan was just to leave their money with their employer. And that's probably not the best option, because there are strategies in place that you can put in where you can recreate that paycheck. And this is a really important time to be doing that. You don't want to start liquidating assets. Do not sell off your portfolio holdings. Don't liquidate holdings to recreate your paycheck. Work with someone like myself, who is a chartered retirement planning counselor. How do you replace that paycheck?
It's wonderful advice, Kim. So important for people to be having that conversation right now. Thank you so much for your time, and give the information so that people can call you and schedule a virtual visit so you can start planning and talking about this stuff now. It's 414-266-1900. You can also go to steinbrennergroup.com.